Hello. So let's wait for some more people to get in. Welcome to those of you who are new. Make sure you subscribe, okay, if you're new to my channel, and share this video with everyone who can resonate with having dysfunctional family members, okay? We all experience some sense of dysfunctional dynamics in our familial relationships, but I feel like this is a really important topic because I had a very, very deep conversation with a friend today, which prompted this dialogue and conversation because it's a thing, y'all. And I want to give you some tools as you move forward into the new year, in terms of how you can deal, cope, and move into your spaces of healing, okay? But we don't have enough thumbs up and we don't have enough guests. So we're gonna wait. Again, please hit that thumbs up button as you make your way in. If you're watching this back, feel free to lift your voices in the comments down below. Okay, so let's talk about it though. I wanna hold this space for you. You are safe, okay? And again, this is a thing. So let's go through some ways in which we can move forward and deal with familial toxicity or dysfunctional relatives and family members, okay? So the first thing is to create distance. Yes, create that distance between you and this toxic family member or family members as in plural, because it could be, I know I have clients who have had to distance themselves from the family as a whole. So it all depends, right? But create that distance nonetheless. Why? Because that is your protection. It protects your peace, does it not? Protecting your peace is everything. So do everything in your power to protect your peace. And I'm actually going to open up the phone lines as people make their way in. So make sure you guys, again, hit that thumbs up button, share this. All right. We got some people coming in slowly but surely. You guys are absolutely late, but let's just continue moving forward with this list. So setting up those boundaries, okay? Protecting your peace. Choose yourself. Hi, hello, monk. Choose yourself. All right. And also choose your healing. It's about that time. And what you'll find is when you're encountering a toxic dynamic in your family, it doesn't allow you to heal. It doesn't allow you to evolve, especially if they are not healing or evolving as well, right? It's a ball and chain, and you have to meet them in that time warp, okay, to where they're still stuck. They're stuck, okay? They're getting nowhere quite fast. And somehow it's all projected onto you, and somehow it's all your fault when they're choosing not to heal. So you have to set up quarters and space for your individual healing journey, okay? Again, not everyone is coming with you, period, point blank. But the beauty is, as you shine, right? As you shine, you allow your light to inspire. That's all you can do, y'all. Glow up and show up in that light, and then inspire those in your family who will witness it inevitably, right? They'll witness your light, and then that's all you can do. Also, nurture new friendships and relationships. Create your own networks, meet new people. I align with virtual mentors. Like if I find someone online who is taking up an archetype that I find resonance with and it inspires me, then I will align. They will become a virtual mentor in the sense of my virtual mother, my virtual father. It's someone that inspires me. I look up to them. You can reach out to these people, send them emails. Again, creating your own network of specific archetypes. So say you don't have a father present in the home. If you have, access to the internet, there are virtual mentors that you can assign yourself to. You can learn from these people. You can support their work, right? And possibly build a bond, reach out to them, email them, and so on. Same thing. Also, trustworthy friends. Make sure as you are developing these new connections and networks, these people are, as far as your friends, anyone that you're bringing into your space of healing, just make sure they're trustworthy. Okay? Trustworthy, because at the end of the day, baby, you have the juice. Okay? And that's the issue. That's the issue, because unfortunately, there are family members who are intimidated by your light, your growth, because you're breaking generational curses. Somehow that is an attack on them. They see you doing things they never did because they chose not to. And somehow you are bougie, okay? You think you're all that, you're changing, you're different. They're projecting all of these insecurities onto you, when in fact, it's simply unresolved wounds and insecurities that lie dormant within them, because they're not aware of them. They haven't done the proper healing. So those of you who are torch bearers, those of you who are breaking generational curses, those of you who are deemed the black sheep, take that as a badge of honor. Because oftentimes when people witness things in you that they don't possess themselves, they see it as a threat. And sometimes it's the closest people to us. They grow bitter and they're in the pit of that misery, and they want you to be down there with them. When I went off to college, it was like, oh, she'll be back. Oh, she okay, there's nothing here. She's not gonna make a name for herself. She isn't going to climb the ladder. She's not going to succeed. And I did. I traveled the world. I did things that I didn't even know I could do because I chose to. But then when you're dealing with those who come from the same pod, who are in your family, right? And they chose not to, because of their fear, because of their insecurities, because of their unwillingness to push the envelope, to dare to dream. I'm the enemy. You see, it's warped. And you can't really work with these types of beings. You can't get through to those who cannot see beyond their limitations, who cannot see beyond their wounding. You see? But again, I want to open up the phone lines. Let's talk about this. So I'm going to put the number up here for y'all to call on in, because this is a thing. This is a thing, okay? Dysfunctional family members are not coming with you into 2021, 2022, okay, 2023. They're not coming. And it's okay, because you can send them love from a distance, but you have to take space for yourself now. Like, this is about you. God is reassigning a lot of you. So you have to create space for that assignment. You have to create space for those revelations, those downloads, those doors that are opening in your life. On Patreon, we just talked about how the floodgates are opening. Yes. Join us over on Patreon if you're interested. We just had the weekly alignment message and we went deep. We did. So the phone lines are open. Go ahead and call in if you're interested in discussing, dysfunctional family members. What the hell is going on? Okay? There are some people that you just have to let go, and they're, again, the closest people that you know. They often show up as the biggest snares in your journey. Some of my family are my biggest haters. I'm sure those of you who relate can attest to this. Some of them are the biggest haters. It's like, wait, I don't know, if I had a younger sister or a younger brother who was doing their thing and carrying the legacy in a profound way, in a profound manner. Oh, we got someone calling in. I'm inspired naturally, but that's me. You see, I work with a different chemistry. But let's take this phone call. Hello. Okay, it cut off. So call back in. So I am taking phone calls. Feel free to call in, y'all, because this is a whole thing. And I want to hold space because we're all kind of dealing with this in some way or another. And I want you to know that you're not the only one and there are solutions, okay? Again, create that distance. Create that distance. Let's take a moment here. Hello, hello. Let's put it on speaker. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
So, let's talk about it.
Yes.
What do you have to add to the conversation in regards to dysfunctional family members and just, how has it been for you? Do you have any stories as far as, relating to the dysfunctional familial foundation and making your way through it?
I absolutely do. Actually, I can relate to what you were saying as far as distancing yourself
yes.
from family at times.
Yes.
I really can understand that. I have as far as, I'll make it kind of short, but I have my mother and I, we have kind of like a sort of difficult situation, but that kind of falls more so on her based on, me growing
yes.
up and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
She didn't raise me. I was raised by my grandparents. So I think that somehow she holds that sort of indirectly against me. So me growing up, I didn't look at it that way. I love my mother. I want to get close to her.
Yes, of course.
But over the years, she tends to push me away. And I have tried and done everything I could do. But just like you said earlier, the best thing you can do is distance yourself from that type of negative energy, whether she knows better or not. I'm still her son, So, and obviously she has issues with her own mother because her mother was the one that raised me and my two other brothers.
It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. But that's kind of like their conflict. But it shouldn't affect the children, and that's the problem that we have in some of our cultures, is that the children are the ones who are hurt in the end because of the adults' issues or problems, and that affects us as the children.
Yes.
And you know what? That has to change.
It has to.
That has to change.
It's basically passing down the wounding that they didn't work through or heal. It all boils down to taking accountability. And that's where they tend to lack taking that accountability and standing up in it and making the change. So then it falls on the children, as you said, and then it's like, what do I do with this? what do I do
exactly.
with this? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And what people fail to realize, is that, these things really are affecting the children. And then, of course, when they become adolescents, teenagers, then all this comes out in all kind of ways. It can come out in rebellious. It can come out in so many ways. And it's like, parents of children, they need to resolve their own problems separately and keep the children out of it,
Right.
Because when I was younger, like the conflict between my mother and my grandmother, it had me smack dab in the middle. And it was hard for me to separate from that because it made me feel as though that I wasn't loved, because on one end of the spectrum, my grandmother, she wasn't one of those, I was one of those kids that needed a lot of emotion. She wasn't like an emotional figure, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, on the other hand, she was she was pushing me away, so I had no direction to go in, but just to feel like just alone. Even though I had family, I still felt alone because these two figures I really respected, and I really wanted their love, but I just couldn't seem to obtain it.
My gosh. You know what? We're gonna talk more about this. I'm actually doing a series, you all, in the new year, with a close associate of mine, and we're gonna talk about, just familial dysfunction and how it affects the adult, and we're gonna come up with solutions and talk about how we've both you know, how we've been able to move through these trials that come along with carrying the burden of ancestral wounding and breaking those strongholds and strongmen over our lives. So I thank you for calling in today. You have a really, really powerful, way of putting it. And I'm sure those of you who are in the audience could relate to what's your name? I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name is Robert.
Robert. I'm sure those in the audience could relate to what you were saying. So I thank you, Robert, for calling in, and please feel free to call in again.
Yeah, and then I would like to say one last thing is that we all need to share. We all need to open up and share and help this healing. That we need. Our cultures need it. We need to heal. But thank you so much for listening.
Oh my God, of course. Listen, this is your safe space. Call in again, okay? I will talk to you soon, Robert. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, so thank you, Robert, for calling in. Again, the phone lines are open. Listen, this is a safe space. So if you want to call in and vent and talk about your experience, if you want to ask questions, then feel free to call in. Again, thank you, Robert. We have Kenderly here who asks, what if you're very young and you have no choice but to stay with your family? So Kenderly, that's a really good question, okay? Well, self-awareness, become aware, self-awareness, meditate, and really start to become more aware of your environment, your conditions, and your surroundings. And also disassociate from the toxicity. So create safe space in the home. So in your bedroom, have a corner where you set up your meditation cushion, and you can just go, tune inward or go into prayer, and you create that space for yourself where it's, again, disassociated from the toxicity that may be going on. Okay, Kenderly? So start there. There's so much I could give you on that particular question, but that's a good place to start. Okay, my lovely? Very good question. Very good question. All right, let's see. What else is here? And you please address your family constantly nitpicking about your weight. Oh my gosh, it just hurts so much. Kenderly, okay, I understand. Listen, again, do all you can to take up your own space, create your own space so that you can have that separation, okay? You're so welcome. You're so welcome. That's a great place to start. And again, know that you are not defined by your conditions. You're not defined by the things they're saying. That often, especially if they're commenting on your weight in a way that is, abusive and not constructive, normally that's them projecting their fears onto you. Parents tend to do that. They'll project their own fears onto you. So just be aware of that. Develop that self-awareness, understanding that it most of the time doesn't have anything to do with you, okay? And it's them projecting their world onto you or trying to infuse it into your worldview, right? And then create your own space where you tune into your world and validate that for yourself without them looming over what that becomes for you. Again, the phone lines are open if you guys want to call in. Otherwise, this was a really great dialogue about, coping and dealing with dysfunctional family members. Because again, yeah, they tend to be haters if they're dysfunctional. they are haters. Number one, your first haters will normally be family members, and as heartbreaking as that is, it just is real, and I have to keep it all the way real. Listen, if you're watching this back, make sure you leave your comments as well, and I appreciate you guys so much. So really briefly, I want to go through these points once more. Create that distance, set up those sacred boundaries, protect your peace at all costs, period. There's no if and buts. You need to do that, especially moving into the new year. Choose yourself, okay? Choose your healing. As you choose yourself, you're choosing your healing. Understand that. Also nurture new family, okay? Nurture new family. You can align with figures who inspire you, and you can take on virtual mentors as we discussed, and make sure that your circle is trustworthy, okay, solid, okay? Because you don't want to, the thing about, abandonment issues or, codependency issues is sometimes you'll just take anyone. You take anyone at face value because you crave that connectivity. You crave a listening ear that you didn't get the chance to have growing up. You have to check your wounding to make sure you aren't just letting anyone into your space, you understand, because you're wounded or because you're dealing with something that you weren't able to receive or get from your parents or from your siblings, or you see. So check your issues, and then as you allow people into your space, make sure they're trustworthy, upright, and those who have your best interest. Okay, so are there any other questions or anything that you guys want to share? Let me know in the comments. Hi Drea, I got some clients in here. Hello. Listen, you guys, I have several events closing out the year of 2020. So join us on Patreon, okay? We will have a deep discussion on how we can enter the new year and align with our flourish. All right. We also have a touch and agree ceremony coming up as well. So do join us for these events over on Patreon. And that's it. I will close out here. I love hearing from you guys, so feel free to email me and let me know how I can be of service for you. And I'll see you very soon. All right. Signing out. My love. Bye.